All right, good morning, folks. Today is July the 20th. So let's go over our trades from yesterday. We are just going to go right here. These are that's actually CCL. So let's just go ahead and go 2 days back. We're going to take off all of these. Okay, so here we have a number of trades in UAL, CCL, BB, TLRY, another CCL, EXPR, UVXY, and then again in CCL. So as you can see, we're trading CCL pretty hard, and this is why right here we are in our lowest RSI. So for me, it presents a really good opportunity to both get in a long-term leap as well as sell some premium. So let's go through these trades. So let's go to UAL. Okay, so UAL. All right, in UAL, we sold the 45 and then bought a leap at 43. So this is what the risk profile looks like. This is just for this week. So we bought the 43 strike. We sold the 45 weekly. So this is a June 17th, 2022 strike. And we sold the nearest one, creating this risk diagram. So let's go to our break even date. We need to up this date a little bit, and so there we go. So we have a 61% probability of profit on this particular trade. I need to readjust the slices just a little bit. So a 58.6 probability of profit here on this trade. And so what we're doing is we're just hoping that it closes above 43, below 45, and that makes a pretty good trade for us here. Okay, and so what we'll do is we'll just see what happens at 45 by Friday, and then we'll sell another weekly next week. As you can see, if we go here to UAL, we're getting pretty good premiums, right? So we have $1.10 here. I mean, we could even go out a couple of strikes, try to keep it out of the money. I want it at the money for this one just to see what would happen, but we can go, further out here in UAL, just depending on what the security does. And so that's really, really nice. Okay, let's go to CCL. Okay, so the first trade that we did is we rolled. We'll go here. So we did have this 23 on right here, and it wasn't worth anything. And so we went ahead and rolled that down to the 20 strike at the money, collected more premium. So collected another 46 in premium here. So that's a really solid trade there. It's a really solid trade, collecting more premium. Certainly still within our break even. We collected quite a lot of premium on that total weekly there. Now, BB is interesting. BB is a little bit different from what we typically do. Okay, so we're holding 100 long shares of BB. Okay, our break even on those is currently like 1130. Now, I anticipated that and so we have, let's go step back just one moment. Our break even on those shares is 1130. And so we sold the 11.5, which is slightly above our break even because we couldn't get enough premium to put our break even below 11. And so it doesn't make sense to sell the 11s here. Now, here on the 11.5, there's nothing left. And so I went ahead and sold the 11.5s for next week. So I'm actually naked right here on these particular on this particular call option. Okay, so I'm naked here. I went ahead and collected though, because what I want is we're down about $150 from our break even on BB right now. So what I want is eventually to continue to move and be able to sell the 11s and then to be able to sell the 10.5s. And so we get to the point where we can let the shares go based on a long call option and be at break even. Okay, and so that's the goal for these. So I went ahead and collected an additional bit of premium. I'm pretty close to being able here on the 6th to be able to sell this 11, which would be good because we're getting much closer to the money, especially if we see a uptick in BB. That would be really, really nice for us. I don't anticipate us getting into 11.5 in BB before the end of next week. And so I felt pretty confident selling these, that call. I essentially did the same thing in TLRY. Okay, and so TLRY, our break even is in the 16s. And so I have this 16.5 that's naked, but there's nothing, or that's for this week, but there's nothing left on it. Okay. And so what I did is I went ahead and I sold the 16.5 for next week, trying to push that break even down to 16 or below. And so I'm actually, again, naked here on this 16.5 in TLRY. Okay. So a little bit more risky than what we usually like to do. But as soon as we get to Friday, and both this 16.5 in TLRY and the 11.5 here in BB, once those both expire worthless, then the new contract will be based off of this. And so this will no longer be a naked position because we have the shares and we have the long call in order to support that particular position. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. And then finally, to go along with that, I did the same thing in CCL, went ahead and sold the 24s. Our break even on our long shares in CCL is in the 24s. So went ahead and sold this. I'll be able to, on the 23rd or August the 6th, be able to sell the 23.5s. So I'll be able to do that there. So that's really exciting. Moving that break even down, collecting a little bit more premium, being able to get closer to our break even. It's, a little frustrating because, we bought our long shares here, I think on this day in CCL. And so just over a week ago, and since then it's just been, a crater 25% or so. But, we're oversold in all of our metrics. And so hopefully we'll be able to, begin moving that major oversold really in every area. So I think, I think that that's fine. EXPR, same deal here. Sold this because this is utterly worthless right here. Utterly worthless. We're actually naked here in EXPR at the 4.5s, but I think that's fine. UVXY. All right, UVXY had a major move yesterday, all the way up to 39 at one point, closed at 35. Went ahead and added a vertical for our furthest out weekly here. Plan would be to just let this expire worthless. That would be the goal. Okay, so the 40.50 sold that for, I think, $1.75. $1.45. Okay, so $1.45. That's what we're doing there. Flash trade is another CCL position. So let's go to exactly what that looks like. Okay, so here in CCL, which one was it? We have the June and the 20 call. So the June and the 20 call. Okay, so here in CCL, this is our position right here. Essentially the same thing. We are going to just sell weeklies against this June position. We only have to collect $473 in premium, and we already got 67 of that. So this is going to be a very easy position for us to be long-term profitable on. One of the things that we have done is we have been buying things like Fubu, right? Here we tried, the long call there, paid $2,500 for that long call. We've done the same thing on Clove, BB, Skills, all of these companies that have a little bit of a meme style to them, Workhorse, Wish. So what I think that I like is, these companies that we know. I mean, we know Carnival Cruise Line, we know American Airlines, we know Boeing, all of these companies that are legit companies that are, great companies. Trying this long-term leap strategy on those when we know that they are legitimate. I think that may be a slightly better way to do our leaps versus going through some of the memes. Even though the memes, right, have higher premiums, I think here, and I think what's important is that these are also going to have high premiums right now. And the reason that they're going to have high premiums is because they're oversold, right? So volatility is higher. And CCL is showing us 60%, right? 80% in the nearest. UAL showing us 80 and 60 and 50. That's really good. Budweiser is going to be less, 35, but because of the price here, we go out a week, we can get a $1.30. And so this could be an every 2-week type. And so I think that there's certainly ways for us to get really nice fat premiums here on these particular securities through being a little more strategic about the securities that we're choosing, and making some things happen that way. Okay, well, those are our recaps from yesterday. Okay, if those were the positions that we sold. If you have any questions about any of these, reach out to me at Ryan, RYAN, at Sell That Option. Otherwise, have a great day.